Hello, and thank you for joining us in our podcast called The Growth Journey. This is the place where you will start your personal growth and development. I'm glad you're here. I am your host, Cheryl Hart. So lately, I have been observing the situation that we are still in this global pandemic, and as more here in the United States, as more states now in the U.S. are planning to start to reopen. You will see that there are so many divided on the decisions as far as if we should start opening back up the economy, meaning to start sending people back to work and start opening those small businesses. You will see this a lot of divided decisions. It's not just decisions, but supporting those decisions. So it's fascinating to see how we are all different, right? We are all different perspective, different opinions, different how we feel about certain things, especially with very sensitive situation that we are all in. So I'm kind of observing that, and see what I can learn in this situation. So as you recall, it has been about here in the US. It has been about a month and a half since we are in lockdown, and many things have had happened since then, and many things that we have learned along the way. And going back in time, where we first heard or start paying attention what this COVID-19 is all about, and how it affected other countries such as in China, in Japan, in Korea, South Korea, in Europe, in UK, then it came here in the US. And as you recall, we drive those data based on the information from other countries, and now starting filling in here in the US. And everything, all the data that we can come up that we can get to in medical data, and how this COVID truly affect human being. So if you think about it, each countries and regions that first things that come to mind is not about the economy. When it comes to COVID-19 that affected human being, it's different. You kind of stop everything when affected human. So when affects human, which is humans, if you can think about it, we as human is the asset in the planet Earth. And we are the most valuable asset. So if you're looking into it, that if you are running a business or a company, you will know that your best assets are your people, your employee, right? Because they're the one who's building up your company. And without them, your company won't be able to run. Although you have the machines that will aid them to do their job properly, being productive and effective. But here, if you look at it, you gotta take it down a little bit bigger. And if you think about it, human being is actually the assets in planet Earth. Although even though we are the one who's creating a lot of things, and we also, we are the reasons to some of the things that we destroyed, like the environment and all. But at the same time, we still here, and we are human being. We are the one who's taking care, or kind of trying to find the right word for it. But I'm sure you know what I'm referring to. So, you gotta protect human. And that's what all our leadership is doing in a government, in a world organization, medical world. This is what they've been doing, that they protected the life of human being. So the title of this episode is about life versus livelihood, because this is kind of like the theme for a week or two now, when they start talking about how we're gonna opening up the economy, or opening it up, starting to procedures or plan how they're going to send people back to work. And sometimes you have to look into it, that which one is important, right? Your life or your work, or your life or income, your life or economy. So when we first started to weigh in and what will be the best approach with the healthcare, working with healthcare organization and government itself for each country, each regions. Yeah, so when leaders have one goal in mind to save lives, they are trying to do what they can to save the human being. So if you're looking at it, leaders are thinking about ways on how to save lives, despite of it might affect the economy and the livelihood of each one of us. At the beginning, when the orders are for us to stay home or being locked down in our home, we abide by it and we understand that it is necessary, it has to be done, and we understood what it requires us for us to do. However, as the times goes on, as many people are now unemployed, even if the government provides some assistance like the stimulus check for everyone and small businesses loans, which is I didn't get anything. I'm not qualified to have any of those, except for I'm okay. Financially I'm okay, and yeah, I'm not. Just to give it to. Thankfully, I'm not, so that we can give it to someone else who truly need those stimulus checks. So I hope they could put that to use. So, and sometimes it's not enough. Our government are trying to do their best, but this is not enough. It's gonna be ongoing thing. Your bill's still coming, and that small check, even then it helps for in the moment, but you still have bigger bills to pay, your mortgage, your rent, or whatnot. So it is tough. It's really tough when you talk about economy or the livelihood of that person or the human. So if you combine unemployment, no income coming in, people have nowhere to go. You cannot go anywhere. You can go to the museum, you can go to the beach, you cannot go to the parks. So we are pretty much like in a prison in our home, if you think about it. Or one of my friend said that we are in a house arrest or house prison or something. So because we are all stuck here, and and when you do that, when you do not have an income, you're unemployed, you don't know what to do, you don't have other hobbies to do, and the only life that you know of is going to work. So you see, from the beginning, when I first started this podcast, I always advocate that you have to have something outside of your work. You have to find a hobby, find a new skills, and start something. Or if you wanted to not literally start a business, but something that you wanted to share to the world. So like myself, just for example, this podcast and this. I don't get paid for this, guys. I don't get paid for this. This is free. You listening to it, and I'm creating my thoughts, content, thinking about what I'm going to share with you. These are all free. I didn't ask you to pay, and I don't have advertisement, although I bring it up sometimes what I have, such as the online course. Those are I charge for. And also I'm creating something in the background as far as membership to those who wanted to take this, if you are listeners, if you want to take this podcast to the next level, then I can teach you and coach you in more deeper ways. So I am creating in the background in the membership for you guys. So stay tuned with that. I'll bring it up next week. But anyway, you gotta find something. If you know this by now, I hope you do. But if not, I'm gonna remind you that this is the time that if you are one of those who doesn't have work right now or unemployed, you gotta think about something. Okay, when I get back there again, I'm sure you wanna first thing first, you're gonna get back and get income, right? And that once that's going, you gotta at least spend 30 minutes, just think about something that you wanted to do, something that you wanted to learn, and maybe something that you're really good at and you wanted to share to the world. And this is a time to do that. So I hope you are doing it. I hope you are truly are spending this time, this valuable time with you, that really think it through what you wanted to do besides working, besides other things that you were doing pre COVID-19. And then now we kind of in a solitude in many ways. And then later on we will get back there again. Probably some of you already getting back slowly, and some of you will getting back there again about a month or maybe in a few weeks. You just never know. So with that, so if you combine those, right? Combine unemployment, no income coming in, people have nowhere to go but to stay home. And the things that they are able to do before and now they cannot do. You can't do it any longer for now. And the patience of people starts to run dry. And now you will see people are protesting in front of the Capitol Hill and other streets and making the government, asking them to reopen the economy, even though the medical folks say, no, you got to stay home. This is not the best way to approach it, But then, of course, people not listening, going back out there and do their thing. While in every hospital, especially in great cities like New York and Chicago, are still not near at its peak on the pandemic and still trying to save lives, and many people are still dying. So we are not still in a clear. However, people cannot compromise now their livelihood. And this is where we act, kind of divided, life versus livelihood. So this kind of the theme right now, what I'm seeing. So today and throughout this crisis, the toughest job right now, think about it, the toughest job right now is to be a leader, especially if you are in a government position. It's truly gonna test your leadership and who you are. And if you listen to our previous podcast episode throughout this pandemic, I also create a piece about that in crisis or adversity, it truly reveal us. So this is one of those that you will see, you will reveal your leaders. I'm talking about your governors, your mayors in your cities. They are all in a tough job, tough position to make decisions. And even though not everyone's gonna approve it or agree with it, but you have to make decision. As in my also previous episode, I discussed about indecision is also a decision. But this time, you gotta make decision. Indecision is really put you in a very tough spot, especially with other people. So there are so many decisions that has to be made that we are not aware of, or it's not for us to know. Only they wanted to tell us is what the decision that they are making. So it is tough to be a leader right now. And it's if you're one of those that really wanted to make a difference, you want to make helping other people, this is the time, right, to do that. So it's hard to balance out between life and livelihood, even in a hospital. When we are shortage on ventilators or the PPE, especially the ventilators, you have nurses and doctors trying to weigh in who is gonna have this ventilator to survive and who doesn't. So it's kind of like weighing in that aspect too when you are in a medical. And then here, when you are in a leadership in a government, especially, you're trying to weigh in, okay, is it life versus livelihood? Should I keep the people in their homes so that they are protected, so that they protect their life, they save their lives and other people so they won't spread it? Or to restart up, bring back the economy, because right now our economy truly is really hurting so badly and all over the world. And also the companies are also hurting. People are hurting economy. So we don't want a lot more people going in the street, become homeless because we cannot pay anymore our rent or mortgage or whatnot. So It is really tough, but we know that this only temporary, and right now you start to see them start opening it up. They first, some states are, especially in Georgia, they open up salon, and gym, in parks, so that other people can start walking again, to nearby parks. So, and also if you are in Florida or somewhere that has a beach, you start seeing those. So just it's now you starting to see them, even though we still this pandemic that's not truly fully flattened. We still, some cities like in Chicago, we still trying to weigh it out and check and see where's the peak is gonna be at. We are not in a peak yet. I think in the coming weeks we will be, but truthfully we're not ready, right? So when people asking to, if you want to let them go back to work and bring back their livelihood, but we know we can't do that all at once. So this is why we have to take it slow and have a plan or what people needs to do when we are go back out there. And many people still afraid to go back to work, to go back out there. And some people, even if they are in the area that they some other businesses are start opening, like the gym, salon, massage parlor are now open in some cities, people are still can decide if they wanted to go there or they not. Even other small businesses, some of them choose to not to open their business, even though their mayor says, yeah, you are clear, you can start opening up your business, but make sure you take precautions, you clean it up, you always practice that 6 feet distance, and people still taking precaution. And some of the small businesses, they're not opening because they're still afraid or they do not want to take those chances. So I think that is going to take some time for us all to fully adapt and fully support our economy when now it starts to reopen up again. And our economy won't be back from where it was from pre-COVID until our people are confident enough to go back there again. And our lives and the lives of our loved ones are still in our mind, and you don't want to be placed in that position. So if you find that our life is still important, then we're doing our best to keep it as alive and healthy despite of our livelihood has been taken away temporarily. And there are some things that we probably have never done before, especially if this is the first time that let's say this is the first time you are unemployed and in your lifetime, or maybe this is the first time that you went to a food bank to get your food instead of in a grocery store because you do not have money to buy food in a grocery store, so you went to the food bank. Probably this is the first time that you have those, and it is very humbling when you get to this point that you do not wish that you will get that experience, despite of before you were working 2 jobs, you have 2 part-times or 3 jobs or whatnot to avoid that, to avoid not having money and asking for food from other people. So it is really tough. It's very humbling to those who are in that position, and I get it. It's really tough. But again, this is just temporary. We will get back there again. Not right now. We trust our government, our mayor, to do their best. It's the only thing we can do, to trust and pray that they do their best and they are making the right decision for us. Because right now there's no perfect decision. You just have to figure out what's the greater good for everyone, and how you balance that is really a tough one. So there are so many so many lessons here, guys, and this is life. This is not something that you will learn from the books that you read, or even in a textbook. Although will be coming in our history of humankind in one of those textbooks that you will see about this. But living it right now, it's almost as if we are all having a bad dream, right? And we wanted to wake up from that bad dream and do a reset, right? Take us back and have a reset of 2020. We need to do over again. But I'm sure it's not gonna happen that way. We have to keep moving. We have to keep going on. But it doesn't feel like you are. At least it doesn't feel like you are the only one who are experiencing it, and we are all experiencing it. And I guess that's the plus, right? That you are not alone, because everybody you talk to, we all know. Everywhere, every country you go to, we all know what we're going through, right? And this is something that it's amazing how. It's also amazing to see that how we are all connected. If you are in social media, or you see this people making their own, how they do quarantine in their home, how we all do conferences in our home with our comfort clothing. It's fascinating to see all that, and again, everyone is not. No one is excluded, right? Everybody is in it. So you will also see many people who are very creative and very kind, to others. You kind of bring back that humanity or trust from others too. So, and it's fascinating because we become truly a human now than ever before. And now that we are truly capable of helping others, even if in a small act of kindness. So those are the pluses that you will see now too, that everybody have their own thing that they can offer. Sometimes it takes time to think about what can I do to help out. And you see that now more and more people are helping out, even just tiny small things, and everybody becomes a hero. Because right now our heroes are the people in a grocery store, the first responder, the shipping, the truck driver, food restaurants who you can take out orders and all, and the nurses, of course, doctors, all in the medical field. They are our heroes. They are considered essential. So it's fascinating to see that. But even if we are not one of those, we become our hero ourselves. Not just even if it's just for our family, even if it's just to one person, we become the hero for them. And we gotta keep doing that, right? I hope that those being a human, helping others, act of kindness, creativity, I hope these are all still carry on, even though, let's say, we pass this pandemic, we find a cure and vaccine for it. I hope we can continue that. How to become a human again. And it's fascinating. I cannot wait to see that what comes out on this global pandemic, and how we truly are really connected, and that we are all human, that we are suffering, that we are all experiencing the same thing, but at the same time we are coming out stronger than before, and we're trying to find ourselves again, which is good. This is what my goal is, from the beginning in this podcast, that helping others to find themselves again, and their strength, their weaknesses, how you navigate through all this life, because personal growth is not just for one thing. It's not just an event. It's a process, ongoing process. So this part of pandemic that we are experiencing right now is also part of our personal growth and development. And this is why I always, even myself, I still growing, like you all, and I'm observing, what I'm learning on this event in our pandemic or adversity or crisis. What are we learning? So I hope you too that you are learning something. So maybe it's good that we have this experience so we can spend more time with the people that we are care the most. And not only that, our world is much cleaner now. And if you read it, some articles that the pollution have gone down since no one is out. So that's a plus line. And sea turtles are able now to hatch again in the beach because there's no human being at the beach. So that's a plus one too, right? So there are some great things come out of this. So even though there's a little bad, but I think we can come out a lot of good ones too. So there are some great things, if you get just gonna take a look at it. It can be, if we can figure out a way to adapt more in our creativity mind, and maybe we can think about how we can save all of it and don't need to choose between the life, our livelihood, and save our home and our planet Earth. So that would be, if you think about it, to combine all of this and then some, then maybe we have a new world. Maybe we have a new world and a better new world and a better new normal. And I just hope that, that's going to be the case. But I think, only time will tell. Only time will tell what's going to happen after this and what it come about. And I hope that, this is why observing, reflections, lessons learned is so important. So we can take out what we learned so we won't do that again, or how we can improve, and also what are the things that just popping up that we never think about before, and then combine that so that we do not need to choose. Because for me, as I always say before, I like options. If I can get it all, I can get it all. So in this case, why we have to choose between life versus livelihood, right? Why can't we have both? Just have both and figure out how, why not, right? I want my life. I want my life back. And I want to be healthy. I want to be alive for many years to come. At the same time, I don't want to suffer financially, economically, and also other things. So why not can I have both? So that's going to be the things that we need to think about. How can we have both? How can we have both? And also at the same time, helping our planet Earth to not so, to help those that to populate it and all that. So yeah, this is a good actually thinking through session of this episode. Okay, so I hope this add value to you, and I hope this is something that will push you to think and become creative, because we all need that right now, being creative. So I hope this is something that something to think about. So with that, always remember, if you don't invest in your own personal growth, no one will. Take care and be healthy, be safe, and be well.